my bones with the dust of the southwestern sands where I loved you to take me back to the black hills of South Dakota, to the Great Lakes and let me float.
I gotta start off by saying this album is so fantastic. It blows me away. It really does. And I don't know how else to describe it. I know that I'll let you talk about it in the course of the interview, but I know you changed your approach and instrumentation, and et cetera, et cetera. Well, to me, it was a tremendous success. I'm absolutely in love with his album, and really can't wait to share it with Rain. I am so thrilled to once again speak with Mallory and Scott, who are better known as the Rough and Tumble. And gosh, Mallory Graham, Scott Tyler, I've known them for a long time. And it's so great to see that they're settled into a home and has I see one of the dogs back there.
Yeah, that's Mud Puddle there.
That's the same dog.
I knew them way back when they were traveling around in a trailer with the dogs all around the country. And they certainly come a long way. They've got a brand new album out. Tell me the name of the album. I want to get it exactly right.
It's called Hymn for My Atheist Sister and Her Friends to Sing Along to.
All right. So as I said to you before, just that kind of strikes you, saying, what is this album about? And how did this concept come about? Let's talk about it.
Yeah. So my atheist sister, she lives in Florida, and we would go and stay when we were living on the road for all of that time. She was often, her and her family were who we would stay with for our downtime in the winter. And so we would get a lot of time to spend with them. And often on late nights when we gave her enough wine, we would start singing these old hymns that we grew up together singing, and so we would start challenging each other to get more and more obscure hymns and see if the other one could sort of finish the verse or whatever, much to the shock and awe of our partners. And
yeah, I mean, like I grew up singing hymns too, but I don't know. I didn't know these hymns. Like,
but it was like this, it's kind of a special thing, to grow up with a certain kind of music. And obviously, my sister and I grew up in a very conservative Christian environment, and she grew up to be an atheist, and I grew up to be a folk singer, and so we kind of went a different direction than what our parents, I think, had intended for us to go. But we both still love these songs. They're beautiful songs. They're just, the melodies are so interesting, and the words kind of stick with you in a way that you kind of wish they wouldn't. And so I told Devin, my sister, one night, I said, hey, how about someday I write you a whole album of hymns that you can sing that you like don't have religious baggage with? And she was like, good luck with that. And so that was years ago. I kind of jokingly said it. But as we started getting more and more serious about this record, she was like, hey, if you're going to do this record, you better make sure the doxology is on it. The doxology is this song that she loves. It's her favorite song. Like, she will tell you dead sober that it is her favorite song from church and or at all, And so as we were writing this record, we were trying to think of a way that we could make this a record that it wasn't a record. Well, it was just an honest record. I was going to say we tried not to make it too atheist, but that wasn't true. We wrote from our hearts, and this record just really came out as a gift to my sister, but also as a gift to ourselves to kind of unpack these places we've been before. I mean, you've been with us for a lot of records, Artie. And so like, that we've been unpacking stuff for years. And when we got to this record, it was a record that we just felt not angry anymore. We were just open and ready to write it. And it's been going really well because of it. So yes, hymns for my atheist sister and her friends to sing along to is for my atheist sister and her friends to sing along to, but it's also for everyone else too.
And of course, the group I'm speaking to is the Rough and Tumble. Mallory Graham, Scott Tyler, they are just incredibly special people. I'm not going to get into all of the years and, the things that along the way that we have experienced together through interviews, radio interviews, what have you. But as I said, this album is such a special album. And I know that you've gotten lots and lots of other folks to sing along with you on the album. And let's go through some of these people.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was such, like, that's one of the big highlights.
Holy mackerel.
For us. We,
yeah, it feels like a star-studded cast, doesn't
yeah.
it?
Yes, it does.
Really
It
does.
really does.
No, so we really were intentional about when we did this record. We limited it to only instruments that I was allowed to have in church growing up. So that only left piano, guitar, a tambourine, and organ, essentially. And we have handbells.
Handbells. And Mallory plays
play the
the entire
handbells.
handbell choir.
But that kind of left us open. I mean, that our records are usually packed full of instruments. And so it really left us open for like, what can we do? How can we explore? And one of the most important things about growing up in a community of any sort is singing together, is the choir, is the human voice. And so we didn't just want to stack up our voices because we listen to ourselves all day long, but we were thinking about our community and the little quote unquote church that we've congregated here. And those are our road friends. Those are our fellow folkies who are out there doing what we're doing. The people who are going to be a call away if you're like, hey, is this venue weird or what? The people who just, I don't know, there's nothing quite like that kinship. And
yeah. We're so pleased with the way it turned out. We have our friends Ordinary Elephant, Flagship Romance, the Honey Badgers, Hallie Neal, Sam Robbins,
Alice Wallace
is on
there. Our friend Dave Coleman, who's also our producer, is on it as well. It's totally and we didn't tell them, like, we didn't say, here's the part we want you to sing, here's the part we literally just sent them the track, said, here it is, give us what you've got, because they're all such amazing musicians that we weren't worried. Yeah. And they all sent back stuff that was complimentary to each other, and it was incredible.
Yeah, we I mean, some of them recorded this like while they were on tour.
Oh, I know.
Days before they left.
Flagship Romance sent us a photo that they had like set up their like recording studio in a bathroom in a hotel, like in between shows, and we were like, oh my gosh, we owe you.
So yeah, it was just I mean, it is not lost on us just what a huge act of generosity this was on their part. And but we're just so pleased with the way their voices sound. Yeah. And like what that means for the record. Right. To have a community on record. And it's
so
great.
I urge the folks that are watching this on local television on Catskills Air, as well as on my YouTube channel, to go out and get this album. It's available, I'm sure, on all sources, but as I always say, if you want to really support the artist best, go to their website and get it through that process, whatever it takes. And of course, on their website, which is, I always say, just Google the Rough and Tumble music, because the Rough and Tumble, a lot of things will come up if you Google it, but we'll get to the actual URL. But there's lots of stuff on their website, lots of information, their tour dates, where they're going to be performing, which you may want. They may be in your area. You guys are going to be all over the place, for all the way up and down the eastern seaboard.
bars and paper bags and hand them out to the unhoused, my atheist sister and all of her friends. My sister, she won the award, Atheist of the Year. She takes sick days and goes to the Capitol, swears on the Bible and bends some ears. Equal rights for her daughter and for all the people living here. I've never believed in her more than when she won the award, Atheist of the Year. And her kids grow, and we all know the award isn't just for herself. It's for all the years of work of keeping the Bible she was beat with off of her shelf. She believes in things unseen, like what holds us together, and gravity and empathy and charity, and even believers like me. The award, it sits on the shelf by the moonshine that I bought her and the boxes of wine. Next to it sits the upright piano where she plays the doxology late in the night. When you're scared and full of doubt, and for your sins God cast you out, who will love you without fear. And atheist and my sister and all her friends, they get together on the weekends. They drink some wine and sing some hymns they know by heart but don't believe in, because belief is a funny thing. It don't much matter what you think, but only about what you bring and the harmony you choose to sing. So here's a song to sing with them, my atheist sister and all of her friends.
Tell me if there's anything else you'd like the folks who are watching this on television, you'd like them to know.
Oh gosh, I guess it's just mostly that it's a record for everyone. I think that's one of the things that we keep saying. I think sometimes the term atheist or Buddhist or Christian or whatever can make it seem like it is exclusively one group. But one of the things this record speaks into is that, like, we're all in this together, and we've
Right.
got to figure out a way. We've got to
Yeah.
figure out a way to keep talking.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And you know, the songs, the lyrics, it just expresses you two. You two are just like such loving people. I have one thing I would have done on that album, if it were my album, I would have ended it with the first song instead of opening. I don't know why you chose that to open, but
You know, it was
the
a tough
song
call.
is loved. It seems to me it's the way I ended I think it's my program that's going to be on this tomorrow. It's the song I end it with, because it's at this time especially, it's just the perfect song.
Well, that's just an excuse for you to keep going and listen to the album again.
Anyway, Hey guys, thank you so much for joining. We're not over. We're not finished. Thank you so much for joining me today here on Catskills Air. And it's always a pleasure speaking with both of you. Okay, so let's continue on. Let's talk about the songs on the album now, because I'm going to interweave this into the conversation. As I said, let me look at my, it is the first song, but as I said to you prior, I would have put this as the last song. The song is titled Love Them Too, right? Is that the title of it? Tell me about that song.
Yeah, this was a song that Mallory wrote on the 4th of July. Actually,
of all times.
of all times, we were you remember the 4th of July this year. It was right after the Trump-Biden debate, and we were actually in a hotel room because of the fireworks. Our dogs don't do well in a tiny camper when there are fireworks going on outside. And I walked in the door, and Mallory was sitting there, writing this song, and she got to the chorus, which is the chorus. The lyric is just "Love Them Too," and I just started crying, and I realized that there's no way that I'm going to get through, performing this song live, and so no, it's a song that that really speaks to us as Americans right now, and there's just so much division, and it's sort of hard to sit at the same table as certain other people. And I think the song just serves as a reminder to to be gracious with our neighbors, and to be kind.
It's definitely a song that arose as a challenge to ourselves, because we were talking about how we want to see the next 4 years go. This is long after we've written the song, and how this song is going to land after the election, because we thought the election was going to go differently, and so we were kind of wondering how how this song would land and what that meant, and it really did. It still forms itself as a challenge, because I don't want to go through the next 4 years being angry again. And what's the worst that could happen is if every time we meet somebody, we choose to love them. And I just kept posing this question to ourselves this year, but particularly now, like, what's the worst that could happen if we choose to love them? And Scott's like, let's go ahead and try that. And worst case scenario, if it doesn't work, we can go back to doom scrolling and being mad all the time. And I was like,
there you go. There are always two options.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting question. Like, what does it mean to love someone?
Yeah.
Someone, especially who you don't or who you don't agree with. What does it mean to love someone who is opposed? It's hard.
It is.
It's hard. And so I think we've had different people come up to us and say, like, how am I supposed to love Donald Trump?
How am I supposed to love, my dad, who is, in such and such a way, and he doesn't agree with me. He doesn't, and he's always terrible. And it's like, well, I don't know.
That's for you to figure out.
It's funny. I have to say that I had a different reaction to that song. My reaction wasn't like, how can I do this? My reaction was, she's right. We should be doing this. This is the only way out of this. This torment and turmoil that we've gone through. Maybe this is the answer. Maybe that's the way it's supposed to be. So I think that song really, it strikes a definite note, and you can't get away from it.
Pick your son, pick your daughter, pick your long estranged father, pick your mother and her brother and your sister too. Pick your neighbor, pick your neighbor's neighbor, Pick their next door neighbor, hell, pick a stranger, pick that troll on the internet who has never met you. And love them too. Love them too. Find someone who's lost, who you don't trust, who can never know the cost of all you've given them, that you can never get back again. Find a preacher, find a witch, introduce the poor to the rich. Find someone you don't understand, 'cause you thought they were a woman, now they're telling you they're a man. And love them too. Love them too. Find a victim, find a bully, hope for all that's good and holy. Find someone you didn't see fit to shine your shoes. Pick a politician, pick 'em good, 'cause we got everything and everyone to lose. Pick that news anchor on the station you hate, whose face makes you so mad, but you don't got an excuse. You gotta love them too. Yeah, you gotta love them too. Yeah, you gotta love them too. Yeah, you gotta love them too.
Okay, so the album is titled Hymns for My Atheist Sister and Her Friends to Sing Along to. And of course, the authors of the songs on this album is the Rough and Tumble. I know we've talked about this before, but real quickly, tell me how you got the name the Rough and Tumble. For
Ooh,
folks who don't know.
yeah, it was during an election year. And I was listening to the news, and someone was describing the political scene as being very rough and tumble.
And he was on his way to my house so that we could finish writing songs. And he was like, "Hey, we should probably name our band." And I was like, "This band isn't going anywhere. Name it whatever you want." He's like, "How about the Rough and Tumble?" And I was like,
Sure.
"Sure."
Yeah.
So the album is titled Hymns for My Atheist Sister and Her Friends to Sing Along to. And of course, the authors of the songs on this album is the Rough and Tumble.
Yeah.
But this is a very special album, the Rough and Tumble. And once again, the title of the album is Hymns for My Atheist Sister and Her Friends to Sing Along to.
Yeah, you got it.
Mallory Graham and Scott Tyler, the Rough and Tumble, thank you so much for being with me once again today. And I do hope we run into each other before my time runs out. I know your time is way ahead of you. You might even make it through the singularity. when it happens. If you don't know if you don't know what the singularity is, look it up. Ray Kurzweil, the singularity. It's going to happen. It may happen quicker than they thought it was going to happen, but it's going to be quite amazing.
Okay.
All right.
Hey guys, thanks a million.
Thanks so much, Artie.
Have a great afternoon. I'll talk to you soon, I hope.
Sounds good.
Sounds
Bye.
good. Bye, Artie.
Bye.